it's just too bad, for now I'm forced to eat you up instead. Holly's life flashed before his eyes, peering up that toothy jaw. As everything was growing dim, fading out, he thought he saw an angel swoop down in a gloom of yellow flecked with black, who shrieked, "Let him go, you brute!" and smacked the scoundrel's back. Drifting back to consciousness, Holly sensed someone he knew. Yes, yes, Miss Spider's lovely face came swimming into view. "Darling, are you back with me?" his spider nurse begged hopefully. "I've tried 100 different ways to wake you up for 3 whole days." He gazed upon her reverently, then waddling to her side, looked up into her eyes and whispered, "Will you be my bride? To be my own beloved bride, my joy and comfort, hope and pride. I feel my life has just begun. Now she and I will soon be one."
Chop an onion, we cry. A pet died, we cry. A couple is betrothed, we cry. Cry, cry, cry. How is it that so many opposing activities or events can bring about the same reaction? For many years we've all cried, but nobody knows exactly why, or exactly what a tear is. According to Vision Encyclopedia, a tear is defined as a salty liquid that helps to lubricate our eyes and protect our cornea. But why do we cry? For many years, no one's really known. Charles Darwin, for example, thought that tears were a mere accident amongst our lacrimal glands during times of elevated emotions. But for many scientists and researchers, this hypothesis just wasn't enough. Now, the race is on to understand these watery morsels. Dr. William F. Fry, Jr. of the University of Stanford Medical School has done extensive research on the formation and composition of tears. Today, I would like to inform you about what he and other scientists have discovered about the formation and composition of tears, how they affect our body, and how they vary between men and women. We already know that a tear helps to lubricate our eye, but the structure of a tear is more complex than one might imagine. A tear is made up of 3 different layers. The first layer, known as the oily or lipid layer, helps to protect the layer beneath it from evaporating or overflowing our eyelid. The second layer, known as the lacrimal layer, and lacrimal and watery layer, contains salts, proteins, and the enzyme lysozyme, which defends and nourishes our eye. The final layer, known as the mucus or mucus layer, contains goblet cells, which causes tears to stick to our eyes. Just as each layer has a key function in tears, so do tears have key functions to our eyes. There are 5 main functions of a tear. First, they help to defend our eye from harm due to dryness. Second, they help to maintain a smooth optical surface on the face of our cornea. Third, they act as the main carriers of oxygen and other nutrients. Fourth, they help to disregard of any harmful products that might enter into our eye. And finally, they contain enzymes which bestow any harmful products from entering into our eye. Just as it is equally significant to realize the 4 functions of a tear, it is also equally important to realize that not all tears are the same, and they definitely were not created equally. There is a difference between those tears you cry from onions and those tears which you cry from sorrow. Irritant tears are those tears produced when a foreign object or vapor reaches our eyes. Examples other than onion haze might include a hot or peppery substance in our mouth, bright lights, vomiting, coughing, or yawning. Emotional tears are those tears produced during times of elevated emotions through our body, such as sorrow, anxiety, or happiness. So whether tears are streaming down your face after a sad movie, or after your friend tells a good joke, they are more important than any uninformed eye can see. In Dr. Fry's research, he asked that 331 volunteers keep a tear diary for 30 days. In his research, he discovered that the tears cried are 49% for sorrow, 21% for happiness, 10% for anger, 7% for sympathy, 5% for anxiety, and 4% for fear. Many researchers believe that tears help to reduce toxins, remove tension, and increase the body's ability to heal itself. Dr. Fry also thinks that it helps us to overcome stress that may be facing us and any challenges or difficulties that we are also having to overcome. only does crying help us feel better emotionally, it also helps us feel better physically. Did you know that crying is as good for you as regular exercise? In my opinion, I would say forget the treadmill and bring on the sad movie. Crying contains more proteins and beta-endorphins, which is a natural pain reliever within our body. Crying helps to increase heart rates, lower blood pressures, and reduce muscle and emotional tension. It also helps us feel better and stronger. Alan Wolfall of the University of Colorado Medical School said, "In my clinical experience with thousands of mourners, I have noticed the change in physical appearance after the expression of emotional tears. Not only do people feel better, they also look better too." Unfortunately, crying in our society doesn't exactly have the most glamorous reputation, especially with men. There is that myth of how it is unmanly to cry, and how women can sometimes be portrayed as crybabies. In Dr. Fry's research, he discovered that women cry on an average of 5.3 times a month, whereas men only cry 1.4 times a month. But these differences can be traced back to our childhoods. Up until the point of puberty, there is no difference between the crying patterns of boys and girls. But then, between the ages of 12 and 18, women begin to produce 60% more levels of prolactin. Prolactin is needed in higher amounts for women to help with the regulation of menstrual cycles and the production of milk. But Dr. Fry was very pleased to find out that many adults have positive attitudes about crying. Holding back tears may impair the body's return to balance after high levels of stress. He said, "When we teach our children to suppress their feelings and hold back tears, we do them a great disservice by robbing them of one of nature's most adaptive responses to stress." So, if you've had a bad day or week, or have undergone a hefty amount of stress, cry it out literally. Don't hold back. Got dust in your eye? Cry it out. Got fired from work? Cry it out. Had a good chuckle? Cry it out. Do your mind, body, and eyes some good. As Washington Irving once said, "There is a sacredness in tears. They are not the mark of weakness, but of power. They speak more eloquently than 10,000 tongues. They are the messengers of unspeakable love."
Our nation is at war right now, and every day soldiers are being deployed, leaving their loved ones behind. These loved ones then must struggle with their loneliness and doubts about the future of their relationships. In an airport, "I don't even have allergies. Love me even if I'm psycho," by Dana Crawford. Sometimes I ask myself, do I genuinely love you? Do I truly love him? Or love the way he loves me? Do I really love me? Or do I like the way I put on my makeup? Do I love the woman I want to be more than the woman I am? Will the woman I am to date be friends with the woman I was yesterday, or even speak to the woman I'll be tomorrow? I ask myself these questions. Questions about you, questions about me, questions about us. And then I get sad. The kind of sad that causes facial smiles at crowded parties. Smiles that I remind myself to put on. Smiles that wear away like cheap lipstick, and as I pass mirrors, I check to see if it's still on. You know, sometimes in this sadness, my eyes just flutter. Flutter like there's pollen in the air, and my allergies are acting up. But I don't even have allergies. But still, I want you to love me, even if I'm a bit psycho. Will you love my demons more than my perfections? That's where I need love the most. It's flattering to be admired, but I want you to dislike who I am, then love me. These are things I think about. When you have beeps on your other line and you come back and ask, "What were we talking about?" You get so mad that I never remember, because you think I wasn't listening, but I was listening. Listening to the voices inside my head. So how am I supposed to remember what you said? But I never say that, because I'm scared. I'm scared of so many things, like dark alleys, growing up, being unable to have children, having children, losing my teeth, tearing my ACL again, or losing your respect. I can deal with losing your love, because I am a bit psycho, so my voices help me deal. But the way you respect me makes me feel there's so many things, like, important, and I'm disappointed. I'm disappointed and you have such importance to my spiritual pride. But I can't just tell you these things. I need you to pry things out of me. Things like stories of spiritual abuse, how I got certain scars, and childhood nicknames that weren't given to me lovingly. Nicknames that hurt me deeply. Jolly Green Giant or Olive Oil. And you know, just writing this and beginning to feel my eyes watering. Watering like there's pollen in the air, and my allergies are acting up. I don't even have allergies. It's just my spirit remembering why I can't go out this Saturday because I need to stay home and heal. Those nights that are lonely. Lonelier than a life of a nursing home patient. God, I hate those nights. These Saturday nights where it hurts until it heals. Where I bleed till there's blood on the inside. Still, I need you to love me, even if I'm cycling. Now you tell me you'll be gone for 2 years, and you wonder if I'll love you that long through concepts of space. In my mind, 2 years is perfect. You'll be away serving our people, and I'll be here serving my spirit. And when you return, I'll be ready to love you. I'm ready for you to love me. But in this moment, I'm too afraid to tell you all of this in an airport. All of this in an airport. But instead, I'll just sit here looking at the picture that I took of your eyes, and hope that the next time they see me, they'll say, I still love you. So as you board that plane that will become tear-soaked letters engraved with I miss yous, my eyes will just water like there's pollen in the air, and my allergies are acting up. When I don't even have allergies. Yet today, in an airport, I sing to them.
Oh, no, I don't have any extra. Okay.
Konnichiwa, and welcome to WWF.
But not the one you're thinking of. This WWF stands for
Worldwide Fans.
the network that takes you around the world in under 10 minutes.
Combing the globe for interesting sporting events from every corner of the globe.
Worldwide Fans.
By John Havens.
Let's get right to our first event. That age-old favorite for nations around the world. Staring contests. First, let's cut to a staring contest in Botswana.
Now let's get to a second staring contest in Kathmandu.
Scotland.
Canada.
And finally, Iceland.
The E's are frozen open.
Now for a brief commercial.
Is this cotton? Because this underwear fits like a charm.
Now we go to the U.S., where we take in a rural Mississippi. Franklin Beartrap Pine-Sol holds the world record for not being able to talk about the same subject for more than 5 seconds at a time.
Well, the thing about maple syrup is you need it to be sticky. Because a spark plug is not a transmission. I don't care what those Yankees say. You can lube a spark plug, but it'll blow up in your chocolate donut.
Just amazing. Let's get our correspondent Vince Skinsosoft to interview Mr. Pine-Sol. Let me remind our viewers, however, that Vince can only speak using vowels.
Oh, ear aisle. Oh, it feels great. Did I mention I have the world's largest collection of sea monkeys? Now let's get to some really exciting stuff. You've all heard of arm wrestling. Thumb wrestling. Well, let's get real down and dirty and explore the new exciting world of big toe wrestling. This sport, interestingly enough, is dominated by women.
Hello, this is Bridget. Am I on?
Yes, Bridget, you're on. Bridget Jemmy Bunyan is here with us now. She is the leading French big toe wrestler on the sports scene. So, how's your toe doing, Bridget?
Well, it is really, really big.
And toe-like?
Well, it is very much like a toe, oui.
So, what's your strategy for the big fight?
Well, I will show you. First, I set up my opponent by making the first mean gesture with my cuticle.
Looks quite supple.
Mercy. Then, by pulsating the rest of my toes, I make my feel frightened by humans, thereby rendering them terrified.
Marvelous! Now let's get to Bridget's main competition, Angus Barenicers from Scotland.
Hello. Well, I'm not too worried about Bridget, since I've got my secret weapon.